First of all, thanks for the organizing committee of CAHO for inviting me to speak on future of healthcare in India. And thanks for the chair for the introduction. And next 15 minutes, please bear with me because I'm not a great speaker or a orator or a great presenter too. And I disclose that it's all my belief what's going to be the healthcare in this country. It's not what is written by the economists or anything else. So what are we? I think right now we are the 5th largest economy, and next 5 years I think we are going to overthrow Japan and become the 3rd largest economy in the world. What it means is the money, relevance, or the people become richer with time, as is the population. We have already overthrown China and become the most populous country in the world. So there is a growing middle class, close to 30% now, and it's still growing. So is the lifespan of the people is increasing. So eventually what it needs now, other than the food and the housing, the next biggest thing, what is going to be the biggest need will be the healthcare for the next decade, 2 decades, or 3 decades to come. So are we there? Definitely, I think we are on the path. Close to last 10 years, we were told there are close to 300 medical colleges, new nursing colleges, new technicians which are getting added. And so the demand is going to come, and so is we need to pull our socks to reach that. So the spending on healthcare is also going to increase as this is going to come. So now healthcare in our country basically is more unorganized sector so far. Only 20% is organized, and rest of the 80% is small clinics, small nursing homes to smaller centers, which is very distracted. And 30% of healthcare is the public healthcare service provided by the government, the public sector hospitals, the government medical colleges, and rest of the stuff. This is getting to change. So the sector is going to become more and more organized, and more and more organized, and a lot more new players are going to come into the industry. So what are the challenges for us as a healthcare? So healthcare, now we being still a developing country in spite of being a largest economy, we will have to face the Western world and the underdeveloped world. So the developed world versus the underdeveloped world. So we have to face both the communicable diseases and the growing increase. As an epidemic, we have the non-communicable diseases, the diabetes, heart disease, the strokes, the renal failures striking us. Right now, in the present scenario, we have close to 60% of non-communicable diseases which we are serving as a healthcare. So naturally, what happens is we need to spend a lot more than what the West or the others are doing. Presently, the biggest limiting factor for us is we are only spending 2.2% of our GDP on the healthcare, whereas the developed countries or the economies which are bigger than us are spending 8 to 10% of their GDP in healthcare. Vis-a-vis, the population is close to 1/10, 1/20th of what our country hosts, and which literally means the per capita spending per person is close to 2,000 rupees, meager 2,000 rupees per annum. This has to change. This is what the government slowly, because of our various reasons, we have the issues in spending. So I think this is increasing from previously 1%, 1.5%. Now we are close to 2.1% or 2.2%. I think the spending is going to increase going forward. there is a change expected, in the healthcare. Now, as a healthcare, if you speak, we speak of hospitals, we speak of pharmaceutical companies, we speak of diagnostics, we speak of retail pharmacy, selling the pharmacy. My assumption is the next 2 decades, it will all become one entity, the healthcare. So there may be big industrialists. Right now we are a scattered sector. Now this becomes a more industry, the healthcare industry. And now to sustain this industry, we need to cater to all these forms, right from the pharmaceuticals to the diagnostics, the preventive health, to the healthcare delivery, the hospitals, and even the retail selling of the medicines. Only then I think there will be a sustenance for healthcare. I think we are in a mode of transition from separate entities to a more integrated healthcare delivery system where all of this, that healthcare delivery will come together, where there will be production of the pharmacy to their distribution, to the diagnosis, preventive healthcare, and finally the healthcare delivery mechanism. And going further, I have to narrate on the thing. Medical tourism is going to be the biggest contributor for healthcare in this. I have to narrate a story. It's more or less our healthcare is dependent. The tourism is dependent more on the underdeveloped or the African countries so far. But there is a huge potential where we can tap the tourism even from the Western world, because as par, I think we are giving a healthcare as par on par with the Western world, but at less than 1/10 of their cost. Our cost of healthcare delivery is far cheaper than Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, or any other underdeveloped countries compared to India. I have a patient who has traveled all the way from Canada, which is for a hip replacement to a hospital. He has to wait more than 6 months to get a consultation. So he had to travel all the way to get a private consultation, which costed close to $2,000 for a private consultation, traveling 600 kilometers, driving away to a different city to get the consultation. For this wait, he traveled all the way to our hospital. For a close to $15,000, he had 3 stents implanted because being a cardiac patient, both his hips replaced and went back. So I think we should more focus on even this category of health tourism. What it's going to bring down the healthcare or the future of healthcare depends on how the government plays on the health schemes. Now, presently, because of our constraints in the budget, we fix a budget and regulate the price based on what we could afford. I think this has to change in the future, and this is going to change. We need to allocate budget what it needs, definitely, to cater to the needs. Otherwise, the contemporary healthcare, which could be given to our population, will get spoiled. And at the same time, I'm skipping few of the things. At the same time, we need to focus more on the clinical research, which, in fact, our clinical research is more dependent on the Western world, and we don't have any major clinical work happening in any of the hospitals. Basically, because our profitability in healthcare at this moment is more or less a non-profitable or a marginal profitability. We should account into the prospect of clinical research to give a better healthcare to the next generation, so that we have our own research which works for our race and our people. I thank you. I think I have overshot the time, which I generally don't do. Thank you again for a patient listening.